Hello, everybody, and welcome to Desperate Measures. How are you guys doing today?
Tired.
Doing.
Sad.
A lot of emotions, a lot of feelings.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Well, why don't we just do a quick check-in with everybody? Chives, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Doing well as Chives or as Will? Will's doing fine.
Doing, as Will, I suppose.
Will is quite all right. No big
Good.
deal. Just living the quarantine life with the wife. She's been home for 3 weeks now, and I think she's going crazy.
Not too crazy, though, right?
Not yet.
You're not ready to kill each other, hopefully.
No, but she's definitely ready to see other people. Go out into the world. Go back to
Oh, wait
workout
a
classes
minute,
again.
okay. I see what you
I was gonna say.
What about you, Connor, aside from almost getting pulled into work at the last minute? Awesome.
I'm
And Lucas?
essential.
Doing well. Just tired.
Just tired. Long night. Up late playing League, dying slowly.
Yeah. Yes.
I hear you made it into Diamond.
No. Steven made it. I got him into Diamond.
But you didn't
I'm
get
about to
there
learn-
yourself?
No, we were in different leagues. So I'm about to learn a new role today. And we're going to go back down some ranks.
Are you doing jungle or mid?
Which role?
I'm going to do mid.
Yeah, good call.
Ooh, nice, good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
From what
I got in my
understand.
promos to go into gold 2-3 times last night and win 0-2 every single time.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's losing my mind.
That's rough.
That's real rough.
Oh. And what about you there, Tom?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Apparently, XCOM Chimera Squad, new entry apparently in the XCOM stuff is coming out at the end of this week, so I'll be trying that out. That'll be fun.
Ooh.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Ready
doing
for
well.
Chimera Squad Long War? You gonna do it till you beat it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna probably do Iron Man right off the bat because
You
I mean,
madman.
if they offer it, because it sounds like they're trying something a little bit different. It sounds like the characters, you don't make your own characters. They want like a narrative, so they've created characters that you're probably going to play with and that
Mhm.
have a backstory, so they have to survive. So yeah, it just sounds like a different. It's like an interstitial release, so it's a little bit different. They're experimenting with things, so it'll be interesting, I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's hop into game. Where last we left our party, you all had been fighting some were-rats that had stolen your shit. You got your shit back. You were walking along the upper end of the Razorbrook River, headed to Fortune. You'd found a small town that was a little bit weird. And
It's a lot a bit weird.
a lot of bit weird,
It's
yeah.
very weird.
Anyone want to make some comments on that small town before we move on? It's a weird place.
It's a weird, fucked up place.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't
One
start with
less
fuck
tempo
that
statue.
place, I'd be very. Yeah. I think that's where we ended, right? It was actually Ebner literally giving the middle finger to the Claire and just running out with the tempo statue, right? I
I
think.
think
Yep.
so.
Is that
I
where
think
we
so.
ended now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, well, let's pick back up. You are waking up in the morning, the next morning, after you've left town for a little ways. And when you wake up, Ebner, you are filled with a sense of connectivity. You are surrounded by some sort of divine presence as you awaken. It's not physical, you can't touch it, you can't see it,
but like
but
a
you
sense.
Yeah, there's something you can feel as if there is a conversation to be had.
Ebner will, I guess, speak out then. Tempo.
Just like in the middle of the party, everyone's waking up and having breakfast, and you start
in his mind.
in his mind.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't just, talk to the god, but you think to
Yeah.
the god.
That'd be a little bit weird, right?
Is he gonna honk at me?
There's no swan nearby to honk at you, fortunately.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a sense of foreboding. Like your present course of action is, you say it, heavy. very heavy.
I guess Ebner will speak out, see if something answers. Is fortune not the way? Nothing answers, so he takes the sense of forebodingness, I guess, to heart, and we'll think on it.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
let his other party members wake up, and we can all talk.
Mm-hmm. Everybody wakes up. You have your breakfast. You break camp. You pack up your stuff. Does anybody have to learn spells?
I'll just learn the normal.
I've already got mine memorized. I don't think I'm gonna fizzle any of them. Is anyone else
Did
getting an echo? Is that just me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it a little bit here and there.
I'm getting a slight echo.
Ooh.
Might be Tom.
It's usually me, I think. Let me try and. Oh boy. Sorry. Wait.
Echo?
Okay.
No, it's gone. We're good.
Okay, there we
Nope.
go. I lowered you guys. Yeah,
Maybe,
sorry
I
about
don't
that.
know.
Cool. That's fine. Awesome.
Test. Yeah, that's fine.
So what spells do you have to memorize this morning?
Pulling them out. 1 sec. That seems fine.
What I'm sitting on right now.
Is that good? Oh, roll 20's laggy.
Yeah. Did you cast any of those the day before? Like, do you actually have to rememorize any of these?
I will need to rememorize some. I know I casted the mind reads that I had different spells entirely.
Oh, that's right.
So I will
right.
need to literally rememorize pretty much everything except maybe like a cure light wounds and a light, and then the moderate wounds. I need to memorize those.
So normally your process for memorizing spells is a period of prayer, 10 minutes per spell level that you want to memorize, in which you sort of commune with your deity and they help lock the energies into your psychosomatic state that you can use at will to create these spells. But this time it takes a little bit more of a communal, almost discussion format where you start praying for spells and Tempos is like, whoa there, buddy. Hold on. Except, of course, Tempos doesn't sound like that. He's not some doofus. It's more of a hesitation that is placed on your spells and a reminder of Meadstead. And while you're praying for spells, you get a sort of like glimpse over at Meadstead at what is happening in the town. You can see the beehive or the hive, whichever you prefer to call it, with the patrons there, the wait staff, the really good bartender. And you can kind of like, you end up seeing little parts of the town, various people working in the fields, the new lords setting up shop in the keep in the middle of town, the undead bodies being collected and buried in a mass grave, because no one really trusts these things that were put into as zombie or raised as zombies anymore. So they're just going in a huge mass grave together. And you have this like sense of belonging with the town, a sense of not destiny, but maybe like necessity. You get the distinct impression that you are needed by the people in this town.
You need a cleric to run the temple, so okay. I'll make it known to him that these spells are only going to be used for our journey back, and I have no intention of going to Fortune if that's not his will.
That is met with a
relief, like
a relief or a sense of pleasure, a sense of I'm the god
Approval.
of fate, and it's not your fate to go die in Fortune today.
Yeah.
But it's still sort of up to you. But if you're going to meet the fate that has been doled out for you, Fortune is not the place for you.
And then after I get the spells, Ebner will explain to the party kind of what he's feeling.
Well, let's hear it. How do you tell the party, like 3/4 of the way to Fortune, that all of a sudden you want to change directions?
Ebner wakes up. Well, he's not wakes up. Ebner, clutching his statue of Tempos, we'll look towards the party and say, well, what happened yesterday is definitely has opened my eyes that fortune is not the correct way that we need to be going.
Well, what do you mean? I feel like something happened to those people in there, and no one else has tried to stop it. Isn't that on us?
Something
Don't we
did
have
happen.
the means?
Something did happen to those people, but Tempos has granted me vivid light that it is not our destiny to figure out what happened or go to fortune. Maybe not mine. I know that for a fact. And I don't think it's any of yours, but I'll be going back to Meadstead.
Well,
He's
you can't
guided
go
us
on your own. It's
well
kind of a
this far.
dangerous place.
Tempos has guided us very well this far through you, Ebner. So I'm inclined to follow your lead.
I have a great sense that if we go step into fortune, we will die.
Something is definitely amiss with fortune in the outlying villages. I'd like to get to the bottom of it, but if Tempos is telling you that it is not the way, we should go back to Meadstead then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't quite know the way back. We've been following these footsteps. Jeb, do you know the way back?
Well, I mean, if we just head in general northwest direction, we'll end up at the Hamdus Hills, and then eventually just head west that way, find the river, and from there it's not going to be hard to find Meadstead. It's just going to be a matter of time. I could get us there. Make sure you guys bring plenty of water. It's going to be a long trek.
Sure, our create campsite will do as well like normal.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are going to turn around here this morning, head back the other way? That means walking right back through that town.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
We can't circle around it. We can't just like loop
you
around
could
a
totally,
little bit.
yeah, you could totally walk around it if you wanted. But the town is in the direction, you know.
I mean, we can just go past it.
Yeah.
Maybe one way to free that town would just be to slaughter them all. How would you guys feel about that?
Is that Tempos's will? I don't quite know. I don't know if I'm
just about
willing to do that.
I was just
Like,
about to
I don't-
ask that myself.
They were weird, but they were still just folk. What? Just because you're annoyed with them, Edmund, doesn't mean we need to kill them.
Well, maybe not kill, but set free from whatever charm spell they're under.
I share your frustration, Ebner, because I believe that people who stand by and allow evil people to do nothing are just as guilty as the evil people themselves. We tracked an undead army this far, and these people seem to have somehow seen nothing after 200 or so zombies have come this way.
It was thousands.
But thousands. Well,
Maybe we could
I still don't know
hold-
what they.
So,
Sure. All right.
maybe for old time's sake, we could go through and I could cast Detect Evil on a few people. That's one thing I forgot to do last time, just to see.
Do we really want to deal with them at all? I mean, they didn't have much of a mind for themselves, one might say.
Seeing as this might be the end of our adventure, and I just want to know, just to know. Maybe we don't have to enact on it, but the rest of my life I'd be wondering if the leader or the priest were evil.
It'd have to be an awful
If
evil
Tempos
person to
wishes-
show up.
Maybe.
If Tempos wishes us to protect Meadstead, on our way back, if we can glean some additional information, I suppose it would be good to know.
True. Well, we can vote.
Well, I'm not going to stop you. If that's what you want to do, we can go with you. Those people just, I like talking with people who've got a little bit more substance, one might say.
I agree with you, Chives.
Ebner will pray for, I guess, a new spell and see if Tempos is chill with it.
What spell do you want to pray for?
2 detect evils?
Yeah, that's fine. Your prayers were interrupted. You can switch out whatever you were memorizing for the detect evils.
Cool. Yeah, I'll grab 2 detect evils then.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll head on towards that shitty town with no name. Might have
All right.
One more time.
You walk back into the sad, depressing, dust-ridden town. A few tumbleweeds blow past you. The people have that sort of listless look about them. A merchant pulls an empty wagon through the streets. The donkey pulling it is a little thin. It's seen better days. No, people kind of give you a bit of a wave or a bit of a look. The words that you have said last time you were through has spread, though, so people give you plenty of space. As you walk on in, you can see the cleric sweeping the steps of the temple, watching you across a couple of backyards.
Priest?
As you come in, priest.
I mean, I'll walk up to the cleric and just cast detect evil, I guess. What's she gonna do?
Yeah, you walk up to her. She holds her broom. You start chanting the words to a spell. She takes a few steps back, like thinking you might be trying to blow her up with something. And you detect no evil from her.
Do I detect anything, or is it just neutral in general? The degree of evil: dim, faint, moderate, or overwhelming.
No evil whatsoever.
nothing?
Yeah. She's not an evil person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'll march on over to the
The old
big
woman?
chick. The old lady, yeah.
Yeah. The village elder. She's still in her little hut off to the side of the town, overlooking the ravine.
I should be able to cast it outside, and I think it would work.
Is it... Let's see.
It has an AoE of 10
Right.
feet by 120 yards.
It should say how much like stone and stuff needs to block it.
I think it's straight up like a foot of wood.
Doesn't she have
I
a
think
window
so,
that she's
too.
looking out of anyway? So shouldn't it be basically open?
I'm pretty sure she's just bedridden.
Right, but
Mhm.
I thought her bed looked out over like the canal, like out a window or something. So I thought she was pretty close to a window. Could be making that up though.
Spells path 10 feet wide. Must concentrate, stop, have quiet attention to detect the aura for at least one round to receive a reading.
Don't see anything about.
Yeah, usually it will talk about.
Like, it
So the
can't be through
wizard
lead or-
version specifically says it's blocked by a wall of 1 foot or more thickness of stone, or like a yard of wood. The priest version does not discuss being blocked by anything. But you
Priest
just
version is
fucking
better.
love,
Blocked.
right? You just love it.
Yeah.
So you don't get any auras from the house. No evil emanating from it.
Okay. Ebner's content then. And he'll tell his party, let's head out. No evil to be seen here.
Well, that's reassuring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys just press on through town. You'll notice as you leave, there are a few peasants who have gathered back in town, holding their rakes and hoes and shovels in a small group, gathering and whispering, pointing at you, talking clearly about you. Not sure what they should be doing, but you appear to be the talk of the town. And then you head north along the Razorbrook River. So, as you walk, what is the conversation of the hour? Because you're heading back to Meadstead. What are you going to do when you get there? What's going on?
I think that's exactly the
That's
conversation.
the conversation, yeah.
Like,
Ebner's talking about retiring to the temple and, you know, having his temple guardians, as they'll call them.
Mm-hmm.
Chives is thinking about staying at the tavern for a little bit, but may plan on heading back to Tharnham
Mhm.
and talking to some people there. He's got some more business to deal with on the tavern up that direction. Maybe go speak with the dwarves a little more.
Okay.
I think,
Tom?
I'm sorry, I need one
Well-
second.
yeah. No problem. I think Valerio is probably going to, he's probably going to stick around Meadstead, and I think he's going to try and, I suppose I don't know if Meadstead really has anything approaching like a decent like police or like or some sort of like defensive anything. So I suppose Valerio would probably stay in Meadstead and help defend the people of Meadstead and maybe teach them a little bit how to fight, how to help themselves, police themselves.
Yeah, I'll be trying to
Um,
recruit
And
Valerio to Tempos the
yeah.
whole time as well.
yeah.
So.
And then checking up on was it little Bobby?
Little
Up
Bobby.
in
Mm-hmm.
oh shoot, where did we leave him at?
Left him in
High
Meadstead.
Castle?
Bobby, no, he's still in Meadstead. I
Was he
think.
still in Meadstead?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in
he's
Meadstead
okay,
with
that's
the
right.
hanging out with the new lord.
Bobby Coldwater. or
Right,
something.
okay. Yes. Calm water.
Calm
yeah,
water, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Valerio would probably be doing that. Probably be sticking around there, helping people fight, being somewhat of a mentor to Bobby a little bit, and then yeah, just generally defending the people of Meadstead and continuing to try and do what he can. If anyone were to really mess with the people of Meadstead, I think Valerio would probably be the first guy to be pretty angry about it at this point, because helping the people go from Mystria to Meadstead has been like the one major bright spot in his sort of in his life up until this point, after he fell from Velmontarius. And so this is really kind of where he wants to go, and protecting these people is, he sees, I think, as a pretty noble cause. So yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, you get up to the hills and begin your.
What about Jeb?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get Jeb on
Yeah.
another day. Yeah.
Mm,
Or we can talk to Jeb now.
Oh,
Go ahead,
okay.
Jeb.
I mean, no, if we want to do
I'm
another
sorry,
day,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
know.
It's fine. Jeb's probably kind of quiet after this. Like, we almost went to Fortune, and I was just listening to all these people, or like everyone was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna settle down," and Jeb's just kind of quiet. He's not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Nah, it's all good. I'm prepared.
It is the next day as you are traveling across the Golden Sea along the Hemderkos Hills that you run into a strange sight. There is a large, like a large gopher hole, basically, but the size is big enough to fit a person inside of it. It's like a man gopher hole or something like that you come across. Something large has burrowed here.
Hey, Edna, toss one of your rocks down there.
Which one?
One of the light stones.
Ebner will pull out one of his continual light stones and
Mhm.
we'll chuck it down in there.
Wait
Readying
a
a
minute.
dodge.
Didn't the dwarves say something about like tunnel and cyclops?
Nah, Cyclops are huge monsters, not this small.
All right.
I chuck it in.
All right, you chuck it in. It bounces down into the hole, illuminating it well. It seems that it goes down about 12 or 13 feet, and then it goes to the side and levels off. And it's not straight down, it's sort of like down at an angle for 12 or 13 feet, and then begins to level off.
Well,
I mean, we have all the time we could ever need. You guys want to go down there?
I don't really want to crawl in holes.
We can take a peek, but I'm not sure what we're gonna find.
Just a random hole from a random monster, in my opinion.
All right.
Is there any marks on the outside of the hole, like at the top, like
There
around
are.
the rim?
Yeah, there are like imprints of large feet, but not like human feet, but like closer to, I don't know what you would call it. They look more like long lines. Instead of having like multiple toes, it looks like multiple legs, but each leg is just sort of like, you know, a foot without the toes, but longer and thinner.
You know what to make of these, Jeb?
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Any spines, Neil?
Could this be-
Spines? What do you mean by?
Or any imprints like, oh, hey, there might have been spines on there, because some insects, like, they got like little spindly feet. Anything like that?
Yeah, no spines on the feet, nothing like that.
Can I think
May
back
this
to the
be,
stories of my parents and that they've told me about this area? And can I like check on my local history to see if I can remember anything about these?
Do you have a local history proficiency?
I do.
Then make it.
Maybe.
36.
Dude.
Damn, son.
This is classic Onkeg tunnels. Classic
Oh.
Onkeg burrows.
Well, this kind of looks like
Classic.
those they're not really insects so much as I guess they are insects. They spit acid though. They're not really how you say pleasurable things to encounter. I mean, we could duck down there, but I don't know what they would really have for us other than maybe death.
No one's got a bounty on those. They're just random insects out in the middle of nowhere. Let's just leave it alone.
If there's no chance that they can hurt other people or travelers coming through here, then we should probably just leave it be.
No one
I think
travels
the
over
only-
here.
I think it's only those were-rats, and you know what? If they have to fight the insects, good for them.
So be it.
Okay. You guys leave the Onkeg burrow and continue along.
I don't want to see their stat line in 2E.
They're still really shitty to fight.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
they
they seem like. Yeah.
No,
Nothing but
thanks.
death was an accurate assessment of them.
If they shoot
wouldn't
at
say
anything
nothing.
close to that acid that they do in the 5e, it's going to be incredibly hard to kill even one.
8d4 damage.
For acid attack?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Minimum
They
pretty
only
bad.
get
That's
one.
fine.
I don't know what it's like in 5e, but they only get one of that.
They only
And
get
it's like
one in
the-
2e, yeah.
And it's like, okay,
Oh, okay.
HP,
they're
then.
about to die. It's their last ditch effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 19 damage in a single
On
acid
average,
breath
so.
weapon.
Half my HP from one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. Just overkill me immediately. That's cool.
It's fine.
Yeah, they show up in groups of, 1 to 6, usually, but sometimes more. So,
Okay.
3.5 of them doing 19 damage to probably 2 of you at a time.
Sounds like
It
a
could
TPK.
happen. You could probably do it. You guys have fought worse and come out ahead.
The zombies were the worst thing I think we fought.
Yeah. All right, so
Yeah, we'll
you
continue
ignore
on.
that. Move across the plains for another day. Take a rest that night. And can I get d20s from the whole party?
Just d20s or perception checks?
Just d20s.
Not me.
Uh-oh. The dump stat.
Oh, oops! I did 1d20? Is it?
Yeah, that's good.
is it
That's all we
parsed
wanted. It was
differently?
just a
Okay,
1d,
cool.
d20,
Alright,
1
cool.
d20, same. And it
Okay.
is Lucas.
21.
Is on your watch that you hear the distant howls of wolves, not necessarily getting any closer to you, but a large pack of them. With a 21 on your perception check, you can tell it's at least 5, but beyond that, the voices get too intermingled. and they are out there somewhere, waiting for you.
I'm gonna wait to see if I hear it get any closer. I assume wolves are just gonna keep howling. I don't think they're gonna do it once, but I'm gonna wait and see if I hear it get any closer, and then if I do, I'll do something.
They howl for a while, and the sounds sort of get closer and further, and they echo, and it's difficult to judge the range, but they never get like close.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, they
Not too
probably
worried
stay
about
a
it.
few miles away. They might go from like 2 miles to 1 mile, or 2 miles to half a mile, but never
That's fine.
beyond that.
Yep, I don't wake the party or anything.
Okay.
The next person, if somebody else comes on watch, I will tell them like that I did hear wolves like howling in the distance, but they never came too close. So be on watch.
Okay. It is the next day of your journey back towards Meadstead that you run across a herd of buffalo. There are about 70 of them or so in a large pack, roaming across the plain, eating whatever little grasses they can find, munching on just about everything.
You want to see something funny, Jeb?
What are you gonna do? Don't stir up a hood.
Jackass
herd
moment.
like that.
Just gonna throw a darkness stone at him.
This is a jackass moment.
You cool with that?
Hey, stay right there, and I'll walk like 20 feet away. All right, go for it.
Wait, Jeb, we could walk real far away, and you could shoot a darkness stone at them, right? And then we'll walk
Well,
behind them,
no,
and then they'll run
but-
that way.
But if you just like cast darkness on an arrow that I've got, we could stand a long ways away.
I do have darkness. Sure, Jeb, let's just do it. So we'll go a far way away behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably somewhere in the range of about 100 yards. God damn it.
So the party gets 100 yards away from Ebner, who's all alone now?
No,
Is that
no,
what's
no, no.
going
I'm
on?
going
No.
with him.
Okay.
We're gonna get 100 yards away. I'm gonna cast darkness on his arrow. He's gonna fire the arrow into the pack, and then the pack is gonna fucking dip. is the plan. But we have to wait for him to come back in order to cast the darkness on the arrow.
I suppose.
Which way are you making them? Which way are you going to try to shoot the arrow at? I just want to know which direction to
So
stand from this.
let's say if they're looking this way,
Uh-huh.
right? We're gonna go behind them and shoot it from back here, so the arrow will go that way, and they should just run that way, right?
Yeah, I want to be on the other side of the darkness from
Yeah.
the buffalo, for sure.
Correct.
Let us know where to stand so we don't get our asses
They'll just
kicked
be with
by
us
this.
because we're not gonna stand in a spot where we think we're gonna get fucked, right?
Yeah, wild animals, though. You never know. Sometimes they do silly things, like roll 1d4 and run in a direction.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
After we're done, we're good.
Okay.
All right, you good, Jeb? We'll get
Yeah,
behind
let me-
him.
Let me aim first because
Yes.
I won't be able to see once you cast that on there.
It's a very good point.
Yeah. Tell me when you're aimed, and then I'll cast it on the arrow.
What are
I'll
you
just aim
aiming
it.
at?
I'm just aiming at the pack. I'm not trying to hit like a specific.
Okay. You're not trying to like shoot someone. You're just trying to like get the arrow
Yeah.
in the middle of them all.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
pack. I cast
All right.
darkness on his arrow.
You launch an arrow into the herd of buffalo, who make some sort of check here.
Good.
I'm not sure what to make, but we'll just start with this. Yeah, they break. There's like
Worth it for the animal noises, everybody.
and the whole pack begins to scatter and bolt, heading southward in huge numbers.
Hoo-wee!
Look at them run.
Ebner will laugh
Yeah.
ecstatically.
The herd tramples off into the distance, allowing you guys to proceed peacefully, amused by your little antics with the buffalo.
You know, that's probably
That
what
make
the
your day,
wolves were
Edmund?
hunting.
True. Well, we split them up for him, so.
Could be.
I'm sure they'll group back up. Those kind of animals seem to always
Oh,
be
yeah.
back together.
Mm-hmm.
The herd mentality. I mean, they're herd animals. They're going to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sir,
say we defeated those bison.
Very defeated.
You
Ran
But
away.
did they ever-
absolutely did.
were they ever a
Absolutely
threat
did,
to
Abner.
you?
Good job. Good job.
Well, they could have ran at us.
As a 2
But
foot
they
tall
weren't,
person, I would
right?
say yes.
They were a threat to our boredom.
True.
I would say for one that I gained some valuable experience from that particular engagement. Yes.
I see. Right. All right. You eventually meet the Honey Rapids, the Honey Rapid River, Honey Rapids, the Honey Rapids, we'll call it. And it pours out of the hills from various sources and begins to carve its way through the terrain here, dipping slowly deeper and deeper, forming a larger and larger canyon, which you can
Wait,
walk
did we just
along.
rest when we got to the Honey Rapids?
Yeah, you can rest when you get to the Honey Rapids for a night.
I'm gonna get 2 water walking spells so we can just cross it easily like we did before.
Do you need to
do
cross
we need
it?
to go across it?
Well, we don't need to cross it.
Oh wait, no, Meadstead's on this side. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, my bad.
Yeah.
Never mind. Scratch that.
Yep. And it is sometime the next day that you will see Meadstead in the distance as you approach. I'd like to check in with a couple of the other players here. Will, Chives, what's your plan? You know, you're too young of a halfling to retire. So
That's
what are you
true.
gonna do when you get home?
Well, we're gonna check in on the tavern, make sure everything's going well, make sure Neal's still running it well, being nice and chill, make sure we've still got the hot waitresses going around.
Chillest dudes.
Chillest dudes. Make sure they
Mhm.
haven't screwed up the attire too much, moved too much stuff around, as we made it the best place it could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna head kind of up into the Dwarf area. If they're trying to make a new kingdom, they were rebuilding Tharnham Hill last time we were there, or Tharnham. Oh man, I can't get that right at all. Whew. And then we're gonna see what's going on up there. You know, dwarfs are good at building things, so if we need something built, we're gonna check in on them.
They wanted to buy your ale too, I think.
Yeah, we had some ale to buy from them. We had a couple other things to do. And if this tavern's going well without them, maybe we can make another one somewhere. We'll see.
Okay. Anything like, let's presume that those things go well. Let's presume that the tavern's fine and it all just sort of goes swimmingly. What would Chives do? Let me rephrase this actually. What does Chives think of Meadstead as a place?
I mean, it's a big town versus like all the other ones we've gone through, and it's on its up and up way, which is good. It's a good place to kind of be. It's got a good ale. It's a good kind of base point. It's a good place to check back in at every now and again.
Makes it
But if
sound
it all
like
goes-
you would have this. You wouldn't settle down.
He's looking for stories. I mean, he can always come back and check in here and see what's going on. He can always check in with his friends. He doesn't necessarily need to be here all the time for the stories to catch up on. So he's looking for some new tales, some new adventures.
Okay. Well, the party enters into Meadstead, and you are met here by one of the new Baron's guards, who is sort of sitting on the north side of town on a horse, looking out. And as the four of you walk in from the north, the guard trots out to meet you with the banner of the new lord flying high in the sky.
What's the banner?
The banner is 2 lions pawing at each other with a snake coiled underneath.
Nice.
All right.
And he approaches the four of you and gives you a friendly wave and a salute and says, y'all come back?
Yeah.
What's it look like?
Well, I don't know if you're just passing through or you're back for goodsies or what, but his lordship, he wants to speak with you all. He says he's got some sort of proposition for ye.
Well, I'll talk to him, I guess.
Sounds
with the
interesting.
Group.
Yeah,
good.
he want to chat with y'all.
Well, let me on your horse.
Namner will start acting like he's gonna get on.
He reaches down to like give you a hand to help you up onto the horse.
I shoot away. I'll walk.
Ebner, I'll never understand you.
Dwarves want to do what they can't do. They don't want help.
That is something that makes sense.
Right. You enter into the town, and he will trot with you all the way up to the castle walls and lead you in. Or they'll pass you off to another guard and head back to his duty, and you will find yourself in the keep in Meadstead. There are a whole collection of zombie hands in a bucket near where you guys are waiting. You know, the whole place is still being cleaned out. The place is a mess. But there's a bucket of hands.
They look like zombie hands, so yes, not new hands.
Well, they're rotting hands, so they're either zombie
Okay.
hands or like hands that
zombie
have then
hands.
been cut off and left to rot afterwards, right? Because a zombie hand is just a dead hand. There's no like
Right.
when you become a zombie, it looks a certain way. So maybe they're fresh hand. They're old and gross though.
Okay. Just want to make sure these aren't our new moved people's hands for some reason.
Well, you saw a bunch of
I've
people as you
sliced his
rode
hands.
into town, and you didn't see a bunch of handless people walking about, so it's probably fine.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the tower where the guy that we killed, the necromancer, was in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep. You're in that
So we
main
know it
waiting
pretty well.
room. That bottom area. I think I can bring up a map here for us.
Place
So
where we had
I
all
guess
the
they've got rid of all
furniture
of our
stacked up there.
furniture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
this
it's
spot.
in this like the main meeting waiting hall where you guys are. Oh, that is not showing up because
Yeah,
Rip
remove the
joke.
bones
Oh,
for
look at
this.
that. There's on.
There's Vaughn and Joko. Yep. Not
Dang it.
Callum though. He's not here.
He's left on a different map.
That's true.
Way back in there.
oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. This is why I can't see anything because you guys can't see anything. We're over here.
Oh.
Here we go in this waiting hall area. Forget the
Guess
zombies.
Joko's ghost is still wandering around over here.
Oh yeah. These tokens are all wrong. Anyway, but it's in this room that you guys are waiting. That there's the hands of the bucket of hands here.
Well.
And a few minutes later, the Lord himself comes over to see you, and he pulls up a chair next to you guys. He's got one bodyguard next to him, another knight with a breastplate and a long sword at his side. And he looks
Iron,
over.
or I guess it's bronze.
Yeah, bronze. Looks over at the four of you and goes, well, first off, how did your journey go?
I show him with pride the tempo statue. It went well.
Travis kind
Excellent.
of shake his head and go, as well as one can do out in the wilderness.
Good. Well, I have a little proposition I would like to make you. You see, rebuilding this town from scratch is not as easy as one might think. There's a lot of responsibility and a lot of leadership that is needed, and not a lot of good people to do so.
Not
And
a
I
lot of
thought
people who speak the language either.
that's true. And I thought that since you're the ones responsible for freeing this town from its woes, and since you're the ones who have populated the town, that the four of you could serve as my counsel. I will need, and he looks at Jeb, a ranger who can keep a lay of the land, figure out what monsters are out there, when they pose a threat to us, if they pose a threat to us, and just work as the scout master general, essentially, the lead ranger. And he turns to Tom. I also need a sheriff, and I know your history as a paladin who's lost his ways, and many people would frown upon you or think it perhaps below your station. But I would like to venture that a fallen paladin is probably looking for a way to redeem himself, and this might be a way to do it. And if you have lost your ways of justice, then this might be a way to find them. Or perhaps you know a direction we should move in that is beyond me. but we'll need a sheriff for the town, a head law enforcement agent. He looks to Ebner and says, every town needs a cleric. Every village needs a cleric. Every town needs a high cleric. Someone the people can turn to for moral leadership. Someone I can turn to for divine inspiration, understanding of the gods, and of course, magical aid when things go strange.
And last general counsel as well.
Of course. And lastly, he turns to Chives. And you.
We need a bar.
Hello.
Halflings are an underestimated people. You're hunted for your body parts, you're ignored, you're left to your own devices. That
Not
makes
wrong.
you perfect. I need a spy master. There are great unknown lands to the east that the ranger can take care of, but our people here, half Mystrian, half Eridonian, will inevitably run afoul of the other more pure Eridonians. And while I have been appointed to this position, these trying times being what they are, there will be someone coming along very shortly to upseat me. I need someone who can be about, who can be in every corner, listening to every conversation. Someone that nobody would think twice about. Someone that could have an excuse for hearing every little bit of gossip and then report it back. Now, I know this is a lot to dump on you when you've just come back into town. I'll try and have a servant bring you some refreshments. Unfortunately, things being what they are, it'll probably just be water and bread. Maybe some butter if we can spare some. I'm going to leave you for a little while to talk amongst yourselves and chat this over. And my man here will come get me when you're ready. And with that, he excuses himself from the table and heads off, leaving his bodyguard here to act as sort of a, go-between for when you are ready to talk to him again.
Well, seems, Valeria, you might have a path back after all.
Well, I'm honored he would consider me after my history. I doubt I would receive a chance such as this in any other place. I've been going from place to place, so this seems like a good place for me to officially be able to help people in some sort of capacity that is sanctioned by the people in charge here. So I think it's a good idea. What about you and your spying? Offer to spy.
Well, usually I'm out in front of everybody talking. I'm not really been one for listening. This is an interesting proposition. I'm not quite sure how I can do it, but I do get to talk to a lot of people. Maybe if I don't necessarily have to do the listening myself, it might be not too bad. I'm not sure.
Sure, but you're always looking for stories, ain't you?
True. You're not wrong.
It's a chance to travel.
Well, if you want some stories.
Ebner will talk in a hushed tone to his party and looking at the guard, knowing that he could probably listen, but he'll talk in a hushed enough tone that he doesn't think he can. This could be the greatest story of all. And Ebner will start to explain a diabolical plan, as I'll call it, for how we could protect this town and every town in Eridon. Ebner being the cleric here, clerics can pretty much, they have a big temple. So I could and we have a crypt, I would assume. There's a crypt in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Is my mic messed up or anything or no?
It's just a little muffled.
Yeah, whatever.
Give it a tap.
Like low bit rate, that's all it sounds like.
yeah, that's fine.
Better?
Yeah.
So Ebner will explain. I keep hearing an echo and it's triggering me.
Oh shoot,
That's
is it me again? I'm sorry.
It might
Hang
be.
on.
It's not your
I'll lower
fault. Okay. Ebner will explain. I think he has explained. Jeb knows his power of animate dead or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with that.
Correct. Ebner is going to explain how he's going to explain his tenets, which I can say if you want. Basically, one is he'll only res murderers who've taken people's time. That it wasn't their time.
What are we talking about here?
Well, let me explain.
Ebner, you up on this again? I don't.
It's a great idea. Just listen, okay? With Valerio as the town sheriff, if there's a murder or anything, I could do Tempos' will and raise him up and make him serve an eternal servitude for not only Tempos, but this town. They would be great assets in the war to come with Count Vicious. And I think that this might be Tempos' will, is to amass a holy army against those who would try to strike Eridon down. My spy master, I pat the halfling. You'll know of every murderer who's put to death. And these are evil, unjust people who are killing. We, me, and Jeb could go get the bodies, bring them back, and have them serve their time that they've stolen from others. Valerio murders in our town. He'd let it. I mean, if he'd be willing, we could take those and have them serve in the temple as well. Basically, we would have an holy force defending us from those who would try to take us down.
Valerio, as you're explaining that, is looking down at the table and looking at you, and he's tapping his finger on the table. And once you're finished, he goes, "So you're telling me, Ebner, that you know how to raise the undead. Is this true?"
I wouldn't say raise. I would say animate with Tempos' will. Is how he would explain it.
That's some alternative facts moments right there.
It's an interesting explanation.
Think of it as holy energy being inside and control of the being.
Ebner,
This seems...
go ahead, Valerio. I'm sorry. I'm just.
This seems to be far outside the bounds of what would normally be fated. You are saying that you can take a body that was deemed to die, and you are saying that but for your intervention, you would raise it to live again in the service of Tempos?
They were deemed to die, but the person that they killed was not. I'm making them serve their lost time for the people that their times they've taken.
I have a question for you. I would urge you to answer me honestly. When you saw me in the tavern that you originally met me and Chives here, you knew I was down on my luck. You knew that I needed to redeem myself, that I was looking to redeem myself in the eyes of Velmontarius. Did you use me to do your dirty work? Were you the one behind the deeds in this town? You're telling me that you can raise the undead. You found me down on my luck. Were you so desperate to find a home for your people that the two people that were previous members of your party, were you so desperate to find a home for your people that you essentially killed the people that lived here, raised them as undead, so that you could slay them, and then bring the people from Mystria here? Perhaps the two other party members, they didn't want to go along with your machinations. Did you lie to me?
While this is going on, Chives is flipping a copper coin, and during that time he starts tapping it on the side of his head and muttering something to himself. And he casts ESP on the guard over there to see if he's hearing any of this.
I'm saying this. I'm saying this very, very. I'm saying this very in control, calmly, but with great rising fervor underneath. because Valerio right now feels that he is possibly being taken for a ride because he has never heard
No, that all makes sense. That
his-
logic makes sense because you weren't here. Yeah.
in his life because
Correct,
right, so he's completely he's really trying to eye Ebner as if I've been taken for a ride this entire fucking time.
Travis is letting Valerio do his thing. This has
What's the
happened
ESP
before.
say?
ESP. This isn't for you. This is for
No,
the
I
guard
know.
over in the corner. Oh,
I was just waiting for an opportunity to butt in with it, but the guard, when you ESP, his surface thoughts are like, ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah, ants go. He's clearly like bored and not really paying attention to what you guys are saying, but like standing upright, sword at his side, hands clasped in front of him, off in his own thoughts, not really giving a shit what you guys are doing in the slightest.
that's sounds good. Just
Ebner will respond. Well, I guess I never thought of it like that. It seems like that could be a possibility because you weren't here for what happened. But you can ask Jeb right here. I mean, he was with me the whole time. He would be honest. I won't say anything else. You can talk to him about what happened, and then I'll tell you my side.
Your comrade seems like an honorable gentleman, but I wonder if Jeb is too loyal to you. Jeb, you tell me what happened. Is Ebner an honorable dwarf or not?
Well, wait. Let me walk away, and then we can both tell our stories, and you can see if they match up.
Okay. Sounds
then
good.
Ebner will get up and go towards the guard. And has to be like escorted to like get food or something, I guess.
Of course.
While
he'll walk with you
while
and-
Ebner starts to go up and ask for food, he'll go, I think this is due for something more than water. And Travis can take a quick stroll back and get some meat from the tavern. What's the
mind if I
point
go
of
with
going
you,
to tavern
Travis?
if I've got to drink water? Sure. Well, I could use a second set of hands.
I'll go with Travis.
So Jeb at this point is he's reasonably well grasped in Eridonian at this point that we can converse with each other.
Enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
The longest
Cool.
running skill ever.
Okay. Well, it's now just the two of you in this room. Nobody else is around. Why don't we take our first break here before you guys continue your conversation? And when we come back from break, we'll see where this goes.
Cool.
See you on the other side of a break. Bye-bye.